You're going ahead too. Oh, yeah, but
Hey coaches, welcome back. This is Coach Parker with CoachParker.org. How are you guys doing today? It's been a while since my last video, but getting back in the swing of things since spring football is about to start here in Keller, Texas. So jumping back in hard and heavy. Our first grass drills tryouts is this Saturday, so got me revved up and starting to think about football, and here we go with a new video. This video is a new addition to my Power Wing Beast Offense book, which should be coming out late April. You guys that have bought it should see an update here in the next 20 days or so, and we'll try to get that completed as fast as possible. But today we're going to talk about run pass option audible strategy. Came up with this a couple of weeks ago. My co-head coach and I were talking, and we were talking about we needed some type of rules to help us understand when to pass. And then I heard John Gruden talking about run pass option audible strategy, and came up with that terminology and kind of liked it, so RPOs. And so let's get into it. This is pretty simplified probably compared to what some of you guys may know. I'm not sure, but here we go. So our run pass option strategy is we're going to pick some base plays. It's going to help us tell us when pass versus run. We're going to have some rules around that. It's going to tell us, okay, these are the audibles that we're going to do from there. These are the blocking calls we're going to adjust. And we'll talk about what I think some of the keys for success to pull this off will be, or if we can even pull it off this season, because there's some factors that will let us know. And this, you know, because I put this in place, it was kind of funny. I normally coach defense, but my head coach wants, we do this every now and then. He wants me to coach offense. He's going to coach defense. So I'll be coaching offense this season, which will be great because I'm trying to finish up the offense book and then installing these new run pass option strategy for that. And this will be a 6th grade experienced team that we're coaching, so hopefully these will work out good. So let's talk about this next section, the base. So this next section is why do we want to do it, I guess, and I kind of just went over that, but we really wanted to, I personally wanted a set of rules to help us make some decisions on play calling, specifically passing. It's going to give us some new perspective on just some algorithms kind of things on when we should be maybe audibling instead of just letting the play ride. It's going to force us to think about possible adjustments when we're making our scouting report and what audibles we can call. It's certainly going to add a new wrinkle and sophistication to our offense. And not sure yet if that's good or bad. It's going to teach our players some new fundamentals that they're going to learn eventually, either in high school or college or maybe even junior high. Some coaches will do this. But I think it's going to create havoc for the defense. I kind of did this, I guess, about 4 years ago when I was coaching offense. And we had a 2-minute drill. Well, it wasn't even a 2-minute drill. I could call plays from the sideline based on where this one player was lined up. And so it's going to be similar to that, but with some little bit more sophistication. You guys might have seen my blog article on that or a video that I talk about that in. So what we're deciding with the RPO is there'll be some base plays. We've got a pretty sophisticated playbook. We go all out. We've got like 100 plays. Of course, it's 50 because that's right and left. But we have multiple formations with about the same 12 plays, and it just looks like we have a bunch of different plays. But really, they're the same, probably 12 or 15 plays that everybody runs. We just have all these in multiple formations. But we want to take a look at, okay, if we do this, it's going to be probably 8 to 12 plays. And the possible formations, we run a lot of beast for short yardage. We run a lot of I, double wing, and power I. So we want to pick whatever those 8 to 12 are, and RPOs will be based around those. We don't want to put this in for every play. especially right at first, but we could, but we want to ease ourselves into this. The other thing is if we've got an even line versus an overloaded offensive line, what's that going to do? Instead of maybe running an opposite play, maybe it's a counter, or do we let the O-line make some kind of adjustment there? So we still have to work out. We think we can get the backs and the receivers to pull this off. Sometimes the offensive line, we've got to make sure that's coached up and they're ready to do this, and that'll be a big factor in being able to pull this off. So the RPO play rules that we want to put in, and again, this is really simplified, and I'm just throwing this out here for discussion and really research kind of purposes, and it's to talk about. And you guys can certainly comment if you've done something like this in the comments below. But what we're looking for an opposing defense, we'll run the current play if the defense has not adjusted to what our current play is. So if we've called the play, it's exactly what we thought the defense was going to set up in. Okay, we're running the play. We're going to run opposite of the current play. So let's say if we had a 26 lead call and they've overloaded the 6 hole and they've shifted somebody there, they're blitzing it, or we don't like something specifically on that side of the offense now, we're going to basically call a play that will run the exact opposite. So instead of a 26, it would go to 25. And that seems to be simple. So, it's just play side, backside. You're either going to run it play side, backside, depending on how the defense kind of adjusted. The throwing part comes in a little weird. And this is really where I wanted to force us into more throwing and really force myself and my other coach into some kind of throwing decision process. Look, if there's 9+ in the box, that should be a throw. It's either going to be play side versus backside. Are we throwing to the weakest cornerback? Are we throwing to a side there's no safety, or the safety's rotated, or all the corners are playing run? We haven't, we've got to decide what that is. But that's what we're looking at. And then there is another play in there, which we'll talk about here in a minute, another rule that's not on here, but we can look at that. And basically the other rule would be if there's no A-gappers or middle linebacker is backed off over the A-gaps, we're probably running a quarterback sneak wedge right up the middle. So there's kind of 5 things going on. The play, the opposite play, play side or backside throw, and then a quarterback sneak wedge up the middle. And so there are 5 possible RPOs there for now. So, and here they are, the RPO Audibles, which I talked about. Audible 1, we run the play. Audible 2 is the opposite play. Or if we've overloaded the line, we may have a counter play instead of running the opposite play because you don't have the line back there. We're trying to decide if we adjust the line and make that move to show it, or we actually run some kind of counter there. Audible 3 would be run a pass play to the backside, or the Audible 4 is run a pass play to the play side. Audible 5 is run this quarterback sneak wedge right up the middle. So those are the 5 possibilities. Right now we're determining if we can run 5 or 3. If we can run all 5 or just 3. I'm kind of we go for all 5 and put it in and see what happens. We're still kind of debating what that is. But it's pretty simple because we would basically go with possibly a word, like Audible 1 would be an A word, Audible 2 would be a B word, Audible 3 would be a C word, 4 a D, 5 an E word kind of thing, or, car, animal, there's so many things you can put there. I didn't want to hold us up on that particular thing, but you guys can kind of figure out how that possibly might work there. So here's how the pass play, because the run play kind of is easy. It's a 26 versus 25 kind of thing, play side or backside, or then it's a wedge. But the receiver thing might be a little tricky depending on how the receiver's lined up. So this thing is either going to go to our tight ends, which is the 70-80 receiver, which he could be at tight end in a nasty slot or kind of in a split end kind of thing. So what we've got here, we came up with this little rule, and it may expand from this. If the player's at tight end, they're going to run a pop pass route, which is a really quick, like 7-yard flip to the tight end. You know, it's kind of like a little button hook thing to the tight end. He doesn't really hook it, but it's very, very fast. If he's in a slot, he's going to run a seam route to green to try to get open there. And if he's all the way out at a split end, he's going to run a slant. So we think that kind of, and then if there's any other receivers in the mix, it's still, we're throwing either the 70, the 80. The other ones are going to just run flies or block. We'll come up with some kind of thing to let them know exactly what's going to happen. But this way, we at least know it's going to be either a 70 or an 80 pass, which is our X or Y receiver. The blocking calls for the offensive line, and this is really where, really comes. We have several blocking calls that we use. We're going to name an O-line captain that when he hears the audible, he's going to be smart, and we've got a couple of really smart guys on the line. He's going to adjust a blocking call and make a call, or either shift alignment or some, and then we've got some gap things that we do, and he's going to make sure that happens. And then we're going to have some kind of hand signal or call that all the linemen basically signal back to him that they're ready and they understood what happened, because we don't want to have a call made for the line, they don't get it. We're pretty good that the backs are going to get it. The line, though, or sometimes they fall asleep a little bit, so we want to make sure there's acknowledgement that this has happened. And this is where, we could stall out on the implementation, but this is kind of where we're going with this. I've done something like this about 6 or 7 years ago, where we did have a tight end that was the O-line captain that made separate blocking calls, and I've done it with my oldest son when he was playing tackle. So I've done it 2 seasons where we could adjust blocking calls where they would actually adjust them on the fly. So it's not something we haven't done. This is just something new with the audibles and then making all these different calls here. Some of the keys for success, and this is really going to be an issue if we can actually pull this off this season, which I think we can, because almost everything we've tried to do, we've been able to do it. So it's really going to become, our offensive players' football IQ and experience. Is it going to be there? Are we going to have a couple of people that just can't get it? I'm pretty sure our team is going to be able to figure this out, but you never know until you install it. The quarterback that we have, does he have the confidence and the savvy to understand and pull this off with us? That's going to be key, and he's going to have to be a key partner in the process between me as the OC and the spotter that we're going to use. So, I have to be very organized and coordinated with the spotter, because that's going to be a key to this. This is going to be something new. We've had spotters in the past, but the spotter, who's actually the other co-head coach who's coaching defense, he's actually going to be the spotter on offense for whatever the defense they're in. He's going to basically let me know if we need to adjust based on how the defense is set up. And we're going to get into that. So that's going to be some pretty big coordination there between the quarterback, myself, and the spotter within a good time frame that we can get that back into the huddle dynamics and have the O-line hearing it, the receivers hearing it, and then us coming up with a cadence that lets everybody know that this play is going to happen. We've gone with downset hut go for so long. People know that. That's our deal. And I kind of want to put in, because there's going to be a lot of talking now going on. Don't want a bunch of offside stuff. I really want to put in some kind of keyword cadence word that, okay, this is now the real cadence. You're going to hear a lot of stuff. Don't move. But when you hear Omaha or Comanche, then you know the play is set and we're going. So, can I pull this off in the 45 seconds? And, hey, this is what scrimmage is about in the first game, and we'll figure this out. But it's certainly something interesting that we're adding all up from some of the stuff we've done in the past. Yeah, and that's kind of my run pass option strategy that we're going to try to implement this season. There's some good ideas in there. Maybe you guys can, if you've got some ideas, share those in the comments. If you've done some of this or had some of these and have been successful with those, and what age groups maybe you've done this with. I'm pretty sure the 6th grade team that we've got going in, we've got our running backs coming back. We've got 2 or 3 really good linemen that are coming back. So I feel fairly confident that we'll be able to pull this off as a total team, even at the rec level. Since some of our guys have been with us so long, so I'm feeling very confident about that. So I hope you liked the video, run pass option strategy. Please, if you did like the video, if you didn't, you know what you can do there. If you've got any comments, please leave those below. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting out probably 1 or 2 videos a week now that football's back up and going. You can shop my store. There's a link in the description and over at coachparker.org. Hey, I've got 2 books out, right now. The Power Wing Beast Offense. You can buy a draft beta copy now. It's on sale through I'll probably leave that on sale through February for $9.99. In my completed defensive book, the 6'2" multi-8 youth football defense book, which has been selling really well and gotten a lot of good feedback from the fall. So you can check those out, and I think that's on sale right now for $20. $20, definitely a bargain, or you could donate if you so choose up there. But thanks for watching this video and supporting me. Really love that you're here. Stay tuned as I bring you more youth football coaching materials. Again, this is Coach Parker with coachparker.org. And remember to play for fun, and winning is funner. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Ciao.